Hi, hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Today I really want to talk about Binance Coin, right? And whether should you buy into Binance Coin now if you do not yet have, and if you already have some altcoins, right, including Binance Coin, should you increase your holdings or should you sell? What should you do now, basically? Yeah, to do this, and also some going into possible price, ranges of predictions, right? Not really, but just based on some fundamentals. So let's just get into it very quickly. So very quickly, Binance Coin is currently number 7 in terms of the largest market cap, right, in coinmarketcap.com. So you can see the price chart here since it's listing, right, in around mid 2017 to today, right? It basically has gone up from 10 cents, right? 10 cents to $35 today per coin, yeah? And this is the only coin that actually has surpassed its highest level in the early 2018 level, because most other coins, right, in fact the most top coins had its all-time high prices in early 2018, which coinciding with the Bitcoin price bull that time. But Binance Coin is the only one that really, right, has gone on to increase its all-time high. In fact, its all-time high is its current price, right, of $35. So very, very amazing feat. The other thing is it has really jumped up a lot since the beginning of this year. Yeah. So then the question is then, if you do not yet have exposure to Binance Coin, what should you do, right? Is it still good to buy now, or is there expected to be a retracement price or what, right? Now you look at this trading volume of this coin is super strong. That's the dark gray line down here. It is super strong, and that means there's a lot of upside. Buying pressure is very high. A lot of people continue to increase their holdings this and basically pushes up the price, right? That's one thing to note. The other thing is, I'm just going to this now. One very important feature about Binance Coin is that they continue to reduce its supply, yeah? So this is very similar to like a share buyback in the traditional equity. So if you look at the total supply is about 189 million units of Binance Coin, yeah, but circulating supply is only 140 million. The rest is mostly with the founding team, and the employees are also being awarded, and many of them, they are taking their reward in Binance Coin, right? So that basically make holding power is super strong. And of course here, very interesting to note is that the Binance Coin ROI since its listing is more than 9,000%. This must be one of the best ones, yeah, apart from Bitcoin. Now market cap today is close to $5 billion, right? Now back to this supply that I want to talk about. So how do they do this is that they continue, so every quarter, right, all the profit that they earned by Binance, right, from all the exchanges, and mainly is from the Binance.com, which is the crypto to crypto exchange. That's the major contributor to their profits. What they will do is that they will use 20% of their profits, which basically comes from all the listing fees, all the trading fees, right, that you and I pay, and of course crypto company pay to Binance. They're using 20% of that profit, right? So minus cost, right? All the revenue minus cost, then the remaining profit, they're using 20% of that every quarter to buy back Binance Coin from the market and basically destroy those coins and basically reducing its supply. So they total supply now is 189 million. They plan to basically reduce that eventually to 100 million units only. So basically a long way to go, right? So it's talking about about 50% more to go. That's when they will stop the burning of the coins. Now what this does is that this ensure, right, the supply will continue to be very tight, right? And this is one very important thing, because this is very akin to share buyback in the traditional equity world, where basically you reduce the supply of something valuable, right? And that just means even if demand hold constant, just with limiting the supply itself, right, will increase its prices. Basically, you're making, even if you hold demand more constant and you're reducing the supply, it just means something is more scarce, something is more limited. And as you know, limited edition normally sells, right? Because ultimately people buy on emotion. What I mean is that it's just the perception and the belief, that for sure that something is not going to increase in supply anymore, so I better get some now, right? So that was the supply positive part, right? Now there are still many components on the demand side, right? That not only will the demand be holding constant in the case of Binance Coin, basically Binance Coin is expected to see increasing demand in the years ahead, right? From the remaining of this year and also years ahead. As long as crypto market continue to boom, as long as there's Bitcoin and continue to, become more and more mainstream, this exchange, right, and their operating model will continue to exist and prosper. Why do I say that? So this is so many components are supporting the demand of the coin. One of it is this. IEO is basically initial exchange offerings, or ICO, initial coin offerings. Basically, these are the coins that are being, vetted and listed on the exchanges, right? And so there are many projects already, and comparing Binance with other exchanges that also do the same thing, they offer a platform basically to list projects for the first time to the public. Binance is the one that is able to raise the highest amount of funds from an initial listing perspective, which is 75 million, whereas other exchanges only raised about an average of 15 million. That's 5 times higher, yeah. And they continue to do very well. That's why also it attracted a lot of people to really want to get their hands on the tokens that are being listed on Binance as well. So, and the thing is this, so there are two sides that increase the demand for Binance Coin through this mechanism. How? One is from the supplier itself. So if you are a new project and if you want to list your project as an IEO on Binance, you have to actually pay the listing fees in Binance, yeah. So the thing is, you can choose to pay in non-Binance coin, but if you pay in Binance coin, you are actually going to get a discount in your listing fee. So the other thing is for people who want to get their hands on all these initial coin offerings, because if you are able to buy a coin before it's listed, right, normally you will be able to gain just straight away when it's listed, and you can just sell off and immediately there's a huge gain. Yeah, you talk about that and you look at the ROI right here, it's very good. So normally people want to get in early. So how to get in early as a consumer, as a customer, is that you have to hold a certain number of Binance coin. The more Binance coin you own, the more chances you have, right, being able to draw a lottery, to be given a chance to buy this kind of initial coins. And so the lesser number you have of Binance coin you have, basically you're having lesser number of chance to be in the draw. So that's how they basically increases demand for their coin. It's really like a cobweb, right? Where really they are able to use very legit means, right? And very attractive incentive to really lock in, to give you a lot of incentives to continue to, first of all, for you to hold Binance coin and for you to continue to hold onto your Binance coin. So the other major reason is that, right, since 2018, they are really have gained the lion market share in terms of trading volume of crypto. And as you can see, the blue line is basically Binance. Now you're talking about 60% market share. They have basically beaten down a lot of their competitors, many of them which have existed long before Binance, yeah. And how do they do this is mainly because they use a very unconventional strategy. They first started off with a crypto to crypto exchange, and what it does is that it doesn't attract immediate new users, but what it does is that immediately after someone is already converted into a crypto user, right, into a crypto believer, that they straight away would like to go into Binance. Why? Because they have the widest range of altcoins available. So in that sense, they are able to trade freely on Binance coin, on Binance exchange, as long as you have some Bitcoin or Ether or Litecoin or whatever coin, because they have a lot of base pair, right, that they are Ripple. So you're able then to easily trade the most number of coins on Binance, and that is the one key reason why they have been attracting so much trading volume, right? And not only that, with such trading volume also, they're able to reduce their fees to very competitive level. And plus, again, there's another mechanism how they lock in users is that to hold their Binance coin is that, so the more Binance coin you have, right, in this Binance exchange, you are able to enjoy even more discounts of your trading fee, which already is very, very low, it's 0.1% for normal people. But, it can go down to 0.02% if you really hold, like, I think, more than 11,000 units of Binance coin and you have a huge trading volume as well. So it's all these kind of incentives that basically lock all the especially if you are a big volume trader, then it makes sense to even use Binance to really, really lower down your cost, right? Because your cost is going to eat into your profit. So that's how they really, really, they trade on small margins, but then they want the volumes to ensure that they get this lion's share. And of course, ultimately, it's all about the revenue and profits, right? That they are doing really, really well in that sense. And of course, remember, this is even before a lot of new people are into this space. Can you imagine just what will happen? And not only that, they're not resting on their laurels. They continue to expand their offerings, including fiat to crypto exchange. They begin to offer this year, right, in a lot of the financial centers, including Jersey, Singapore, and now today's news is just that they have eyeing to expand into US. But of course, expansion into US will come with a lot more licensing, a lot more restriction, but still that's a huge market to be tapped, right, which they haven't yet gone into, and this kind of prices still haven't reflected those kind of gains. And this is just the normal exchanges. Then they also have other exchanges like the decentralized exchanges that they are already starting to offer, that basically they are disrupting themselves already, that they are seeing, right, this centralized exchanges model eventually will become obsolete, because this centralized exchange model will be only good if you are a very completely newbie, right? You prefer to just deal in the convenience of the exchange, because after all, they also have something called a SAFU. It's basically a funds to ensure that, in case even of hacking, that they will protect your losses, that basically you won't suffer any losses, because they have a fund whereas basically 10% of their profits will go into funding this fund since when their inception, since 2018. And then they basically had this was the fund that basically used to fund the losses of $40 million, which is equivalent to 7,000 units of Bitcoin, which was hacked in early May this year, right? But the thing is, given that they had the emergency fund in place to safeguard the users' money, their prices came down, right, in the first week of that crash, but immediately the second week it really recovered back. So very, very fast, and hacking is one of the biggest risk effect on crypto exchange, but yet they have recovered very, very well. And that just shows you how strong that they are, and the community belief in them is also very, very strong, right? And also the latest is they're also going to launch margin trading. That's all this is coming up, yeah. And the other thing is that Google search on Binance Coin and Binance has seen increased in the recent weeks, yeah. This coincides with the increase of Bitcoin, right, prices and all that. But as you can see, it is so way low compared to the all-time high in early 2018. That's when Bitcoin prices really, really peaked, and you have all the retail investors that are completely new. That's when they really flooded in. That means, right, we haven't even seen a lot of new people now investing yet in the crypto market. It's still very, very old money. So can you imagine just what will happen, right? And one more thing is, despite this kind of low searches on Binance Coin, Binance Coin prices has continued to increase in its all-time high now, right? And just imagine what will happen, right, if when all these new users are jumping in, when increased adoption, when Bitcoin is becoming more and more mainstream, what will happen to Binance? Because Binance will ultimately gain, whether it's a bear market or bull market. In fact, in 2018 as well, they managed to get very, very good profit, right? And they continue to burn coins as well. So this kind of model is like perfect, right, for you to gain exposure to if you are a believer in crypto already, yeah. So with that said, right, so I just want to highlight again, what's my summary? In the end, all said and done, what's the summary here? What am I saying, right? So basically, I'm saying, and my conclusion is that yes, it is definitely worthwhile to buy now, even it is an all-time high of $35.34, right? Why do I say that? Because it is supported by very, very strong volumes, right? This is not just a temporary pump. It's very, very strong buying volume and very, very strong fundamentals. That's the two key reasons, right? And strong fundamentals, why? As you can see, as you have seen, market share is very, very strong. And they continue to be disrupting themselves all the time, right? And the CEO are very, very good at engaging the community of their customers as well, to continue to lock people in through various ways, right? Through the listing way of the new coins, and they have able to capture the lion's share as well of funds raised through new projects. They also able to, lock in users, especially big volume traders, because they're offering more discounts the more you trade with them and the more you hold their coins. And not only that, they are continue to expand into new markets, right? New important markets. And they are also going to have continuous new offerings, including the latest is margin trading, which again is a very, very high profitable offering, because basically you are capturing a lot of fees, right? And these people really, those people who are doing margin trading are really the one that are more pro, and definitely their volumes will be higher than your normal investor, right? So with all that said, and this is the conclusion. So not financial advice, but this is really just what I think and my personal opinion, and backed by all the reasons I told you just now. The other thing is, what is the price prediction? I've seen people say that it will likely 2x till the end of this year. It is no surprise, because we started out at, I think, about $6 in the beginning of this year, about $6. And now it is $35. So you're talking about almost 6 times increase, and 2x more. That means you're looking probably at 50-60 level to the end of this year. It is no surprise, right? And if the market continue to increase, I mean the Bitcoin and so forth, then it will just basically, and even then, right, you have seen Binance coin is not how do I say it, either increase or it is just doing nothing. It is either flat or increasing when the overall market is down or up. Yeah, so that is the other big thing, because as I said, even in a bear market, people are still trading on exchanges, because if you're selling, you are still paying fees to Binance, right? That's just basically a great business model to be in. And so then what is the long-term price prediction? What are we saying here? Now, so there is a hypothesis that, right, Binance is something like Ethereum. Why is that? Because it is like a platform where, a lot of things can be done on top of it. And one thing I forgot to mention is also that Binance is having their own platform now as well. No smart contracts, but still, they are going to have their own platform to issue their own token. And, basically, again, they're able to be a foundational platform to list more new projects as well. So with this, it's very similar to Ethereum, right? And Ethereum all-time high is at about 1,000 level. Was a previous high in early 2018. So that may be the kind of price, ultimate price target that we are looking at for Binance Coin. I mean, it is not I won't discount it, and I won't be too shocked. Why? Because this is really, Binance Coin is one of those, they have a very, very strong business model led by a super strong team, which is super important, because people is ultimately the ones, right, that can turn everything around, whatever happens. And this is a really, really strong team, and even their employees really, really believe in their company, because they accept their remuneration in Binance Coin. Many of them chose to. So that you can see as well, that their future is very much hinges on the success of the coin, right? So it makes sense for them to work their butts off on to make sure to ensure the success of this coin. So in that sense, right, I'm very, very positive, right? And again, not financial advice, just what I think. Yeah. So that's all where I will end it here. I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe, leave a like, right? And let me know what you think. And I speak to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.